I got to stream this one also on YouTube so I can create a quiz on it once it's complete. I got to stream this one. Okay, perfect. Y'all ready? Showtime. No, I didn't see it. I'll check it out. All right, getting this thing loaded. All right, getting this thing loaded. Let's go. Showtime, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Get learning, understand it, execute it. Let's go. Let's go. Learn it, understand it, execute it. Yeah, 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 hey. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Understand it, understand it. Execute it, execute it. Tap in, let's go. Tap in, tap in.
When you learn it, you grow. When you understand it, you level up. When you execute it, your whole life shifts. This is discipline. This is movement. This is Lux.
Understand it, execute it. Let's go. Learn it. Understand it, execute it. Let's go. Learn it.
Let's go.
Stay locked in.
They locked in.
Stay focused. Stay locked.
All right, all right, all right, all right. What's going on, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the lesson. Welcome to the session. My name is Oren, Coach Wright. Super, super excited to be here this beautiful, beautiful Monday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This beautiful Monday afternoon. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up that screen so you guys can let's get this party started. Let's go. Oh man, if you guys are super excited for today's show, go ahead and drop a 100 in the chat box. Drop a 100 in the chat box, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me when I tell you, this is going to be the show that you didn't think you need. That's right. The lesson that you did not think that you were going to need. 100. Let's go ahead and get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know that I like to start on time, and there's a reason why I like to start on time, because we don't want to rush the information. Okay, if we just rush the information just by 1 second, that could be that 1 second that you need to have your breakthrough. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you showtime is at 1 p.m. Eastern time, I want you guys here 5 minutes before so we can lock in and block out. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, mastering support and resistance like a pro. Okay? Like a pro. This is the beginner's lesson for those who are brand new. This is the beginner's lesson for those who are advanced. But trust when I tell you, you're going to find something on this call today that's going to give you that aha moment. All right, from finding the zones to understanding the reaction, then finally we execute the trade. That's what the whole Lux model is. So when you hear me screaming Lux Go, the L in Lux stands for learn. The U in Lux stands for understand. The X in Lux, it stands for execute. So on Mondays, we learn. Tuesday, we backtest to understand what we just learned. And on Wednesdays, we execute. We execute with confirmation. We execute with confidence. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot execute if you don't understand what you just learned. You see how we just went backwards? Let's go. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, what is support and resistance? Let's simplify this. Support and resistance are areas where the market has previously reacted. Support is an area, okay? It's an area where price was moving up, met selling pressure, and support is an area where price was moving down, met by buying pressures, and it rejected that area. So I want you to think about this when we talk about support. Okay? When we talk about support, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, what was price doing? Price was moving down. When price hit that level of support, it bounced off that zone and started to go up. You see, but many people they heard about support. They know how to identify these zones on their chart. I see lines all over your chart, support, and resistance. But how do you trade it? In this lesson, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to learn how to trade support and resistance, and you can add that to any strategy that you have. Now let's talk about resistance. Resistance is an area where price was moving up. Okay? Price was moving up. And what happened? They met selling pressure. They met sellers who were in this zone saying, hey, nobody else can come in. Nobody else can come in. We're maxed out. Okay? Come on, just one more. No. Okay? That is your resistance area. Buying, rejecting, selling. Okay? And I'm going to have this PowerPoint if anybody wants it. I'm going to have it. I'll drop it inside the chat so you can see this and study this, okay? Listen, don't overcomplicate it. We're simply asking, where did price react, okay? Those reaction areas give us location to watch when price returns to that level, okay? Now, here's the question that most of you probably want to know this. You probably want to know, why does price react there? Why does price bounce off of support? Why does price reject off of resistance? Think about what a chart actually represents. I'm going to move to the side. Okay? Think about what a chart actually represents, ladies and gentlemen. Buyers and sellers. At support, sellers have been pushing price lower. Eventually, price reaches an area where enough buying interest enters the market. Okay? I want you to think about that for a second. The price was selling down, selling. Hey, are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. And it's still dropping. Are we there yet? No, we're not there. Nobody wants to buy right here. Nobody wants to buy my product at this area. So what do we have to do? We have to keep promoting. Keep promoting your product. Keep promoting your services, right? So when you keep promoting, what's going to happen? What do you think price have to do on a chart to really pique someone's interest? Price really needs to stop at a certain level and then pull back up, right? They need to stop, pull back up, so the people that's down here waiting feel like they just what? What just happened? For the people are down here waiting and they see price make a U-turn before it gets to that area, they're going to think they just missed out on the trade. They're going to say, whoa, whoa, it turned around. So this is when sellers are pushing the market down, they need to pique the interest of the buyers. And we pique the interest by making you feel like you just missed out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you understand what I'm talking about today, drop that 105. If we're on the same page, drop that 105. So now, here's the thing. When price finally reaches that level, then you know what people say? Oh man, you scared me, bro. I didn't think you was gonna come down to that level. Bro, let me tell you what I was about to do. I want you to think about it like this. Let's go ahead and pull out our manifestation money. Think about this. Imagine it's Friday. It's Friday. You know Friday is payday, right? And then the person who cuts the check, the HR department, that person who gives out the check, called out sick. That person called out sick. How you feel? Talk to me, ladies and gentlemen. So now you're not getting paid. So now that's price saying, whoa, it didn't come to that level. Nah, don't do that. I'm going to that person's house. I'm getting in early. I'm going to that person's house and say, hey, look, I don't care how you feel. You got to come to work. You got to give me my paycheck. But then the moment you were ready to walk out the door to go to that person's house, now you see that person stumbling in. Oh, man. I'm like, yo, you scared me. I didn't think you was coming in. That's that market finally pushing down to that zone. And that's when the buyers enter the market. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, buyers push price higher until the market reaches an area where selling pressure becomes strong enough to stop or reverse the move. This is why we mark the area. We're identifying a location where the battle between buyers and sellers were previously changed. Okay? That's why we're marking these zones. Okay? A previous reaction does not guarantee another reaction. I want you to understand this. Just because price rejected at a resistance level, don't think just because it's coming back up, it's going to do it again. Okay? Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what I want you to focus on. Stop looking for perfect lines. All right? When you're marking up your support and resistance, stop looking for perfect lines. You see, one of the biggest beginner mistakes is they're treating support and resistance like exact price points. That's right. You see, you draw a line on a chart, and that line says 1.7000. So you put that pending order on your trading platform. I'm going to buy or sell at this exact price point. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we want to focus on zones, not lines. Zones. Zones is an area. Okay? You see, price can wick through the zone, close slightly inside of the zone, test it multiple times, reject before reaching that exact line. You see, this is why we mark an area of interest. Where's that area that I'm most interested in? You see, you might just have a small solid line in that area, in that zone, and you say to yourself, I want the market to come back here. But what if it goes up higher? You only focus on that line. So we identified zones. Okay? Your first job is not to enter. Your first job is to recognize. Okay? Price reacted here before. Now let's see what happens. Now let's talk about how to find support. And when I tell you this is the lesson, that you probably thought you didn't need. Okay? How to find support. Go back on your chart. Don't start with current price. Start with history. Look for a large drop. Then you want to find a rejection and then a rise. Okay? Let me repeat that again. When looking for support, let me slide over. You want to find a large drop. A large drop. That's what you want to look for. That's number one when looking for support. Number two, rejection. Rejection. What do we get first? Drop, rejection, and now rise. Okay? And now we have the rise. So put this in DRR. DRR. What is the DRR? Okay, not the Dominican Republic. Okay? But if you trade this right, you probably can afford a ticket to the Dominican Republic. Okay? So now you want to look for a drop, a rejection, and a rise. And you ask yourself the question. That's right. Where did that price stop? Okay? Where did that move stop? So after you have that drop, it shows you it stopped right in this area. Okay? Where did sellers lose control? Where did buyers begin to push higher? Mark that area, ladies and gentlemen. That's your potential support zone. Okay? Now, what I want you to do is continue moving through your charts and find another one, and another one, and another one. What you're doing right now is you're training your eyes to recognize rejection. All right? You're training your eyes to recognize rejection. Now, same thing when it comes to resistance. We're just going to flip it. All right? In resistance, we want to find the RRD. Okay? The RRD. That's a rise, rejection, and drop. Okay? Rise, rejection, and drop. It's pretty cool, right? Think about this. Imagine opening up your chart and you see a bullish candle rising up. It rejected, almost went into like a consolidation phase, and then it dropped. And you're saying to yourself, whoa, that must be resistance. Okay, it's really that simple to identify these zones, but it's going to get better in a second. Watch. Okay, where did the buying stop? That's what you want to know. As those buyers were pushing the market up, ask yourself, where did we stop buying? And where did sellers come in? Mark that area. Okay, but now we have another problem. Yes, we have another problem, ladies and gentlemen. Finding support and resistance is easy. The biggest question, let's see if any of you know what the next question is going to be. All right, I found support and resistance. All right, what are you going to say next? I finished this statement. I found support and resistance. What do I? There you go. Someone said it, the entry. What do I do next? How do I trade it? What am I going to do with this information? Because imagine someone give you a map and says, go here. Okay, I'm here. Now what? What is the point of identifying these areas if you don't know where you're going to enter? It's truly that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? How do we actually trade it? Because I don't want to trade this blindly. When the market comes up to resistance, I sell. When the market goes to support, I buy. I don't want to trade like that. How many of you have ever did that before? How many of you have ever said, oh, this is support, I buy, resistance, I sell? That's what textbook teaches us. Textbook teaches us to buy at support, sell at resistance. Okay? we need confirmation. I needed everybody to type inside the chat box, confirmation. And this is where we introduce the hidden patterns. I told you. I told you it was coming. I told you it was coming. This is where we're going to introduce the hidden patterns. Ladies and gentlemen, the hidden pattern inside of support. Let me move over. You know that's my favorite pattern. You know that's my favorite pattern right here. Whew. There it is. That's that inverted. That's that inverted right there. Okay? Let me move out the way for a second, because I know you guys, I want you to get the full vision of this. All right? So far, it's 1:15, ladies and gentlemen. Drop that 115 in the chat box if you are enjoying the session so far. Drop that 115 in the chat box if you're enjoying the session. All right. Perfect. Let's go. The hidden pattern inside of support. Here's something I want you to start noticing. Before price reaches support, it often doesn't move there in one perfect straight line. You ever notice that? That the market doesn't move in one straight line. All right, it starts, it stops. It starts again, it stops. These are our impulse moves. Okay? I want you to watch the journey of price falling. Then you're going to notice that it's going to pause. Okay? Let me just grab my pen so you can see this with me. All right? Let's go ahead and grab the pen. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Right over here, you see this journey? The market drops here. And if I know that this is my support, look at this. We've already marked up our support level. Okay? And we said, this is my support. Someone gave you a map and they said, hey, listen, I need you to go to South Street. Support is the south side. All right? All they're doing is giving you a map. But on your way there, you drop, pull back. Are we there yet? No, we had to make a pit stop, a detour. We had to stop here. Drop, pull back. Are we there yet? How much longer? How much? I don't know. It might be another 4-hour time frame or daily. I don't know how long it's going to take for us to get there. But guess what? What is the market doing? Break a structure. New starting point. Break a structure. New starting point. Break a structure. And right before, okay, right before you get to the destination, notice every time you're about to get to your destination, whether you're learning a new skill, whether you're on track to getting a raise on your job, there's always something that appears that's going to give you a pullback in life, ladies and gentlemen. That pullback right before you get to your destination. How many of you have ever experienced a pullback in life right before you was about to have your breakthrough? And imagine those buyers, okay? And that pullback is crazy. Imagine those buyers seeing this false move right here. Right before the market gets to your destination, it's going to fake you out. It's going to create that drop, pullback, drop lower, change of direction. You know when you're getting too close to the beach. How many of you know when you're getting close to the beach, you can smell the water? You can't even see it, but you can smell the water. And that market starts to pull back. Buyers are thinking they're getting in right here. They give me a head and shoulder violation. And right below your breakthrough, ladies and gentlemen, entering into the zone, you're cruising and cruising and cruising. And finally you say, I can see it. I can almost touch it. I can almost touch it. And the market pulls right back up. And now what are they doing, ladies and gentlemen? They are retesting the inverted head and shoulder. Mtamba 53, thank you for the coins. Thank you for the coins. Appreciate that. Okay? So now, when that market reject off the level, ladies and gentlemen, they pull back and retest the zone, we're thinking, oh, let me get into a sell. Let me get into a sell position. Be careful. Know where your exit is going to be at. Because when that market finally enters into the zone, hey, welcome. Hey, what's going on? I haven't seen y'all in a long time. What took so long? Oh, man, if you don't, man, you wouldn't believe all the things that I've been through to get down to support. And ladies and gentlemen, support, we're not staying there long because now we got the pattern. Now we got the starting points. And once that market bounces off of support, give me a change of direction. Closing above the starting point that pushed me down into support. Once they close above here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm entering into my trade. Stop loss goes below support. That's my reversal. Support and resistance don't seem too boring anymore, do it? You're looking at this and like, hold up. Support and resistance ain't never seemed this exciting. All I thought was just draw your lines and, press the button and pray for the best. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, when you see this play, I want you to know that support, okay? Support creates the head, okay? Support creates the head. When that market drops down, gives me the pullback, the support area, anything down inside the support, think of this area as the ocean, okay? This is the ocean. All the sharks. Yum, 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 yum. Hey, get him, get him. All of the sharks are right here. Get him, get him. And then all you got to do in life is keep your head above the water. Keep your head above the water. Ladies and gentlemen, these calls right here is definitely going to help you out. Showing up, applying this stuff, understanding it. The moment you get your head above the water, if you can see the starting point above, ladies and gentlemen, go for the starting point. Go for the starting point. Run. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep going. Because once you close above that starting point, ladies and gentlemen, you are changing direction in life. You are changing the direction of your family's future. You are changing the direction, ladies and gentlemen. Once you get above that starting point, oh, don't take your foot off the gas. You got to keep going. Stay away from the sharks. Stay away from this cesspool down here. Once that market creates that pattern, keep going. Keep going. I'm telling you, the market reminds me of the charts of my life. That's what trading does for you. It teaches you everything about your life. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, that deeper move into support can create the head. Okay, now something important has happened. We have the left shoulder, we got the head, but we're still not buying yet. We need the buyers to prove themselves. That's what when you open up your charts, if you're looking for buys, you got to say, yo, I need the buyers to prove to themselves that we are truly buying. See, support gave us the location. The pattern is giving us the setup. Now, we just need confirmation. I'll say that again. Support gave us the location. Okay? Support gave us the location. The pattern gave us the setup. Now we need confirmation. Okay. And that confirmation is a change of direction. You see, this is where the setups becomes more powerful. You see, remember that starting point area that pushed the price down towards support? Price rejected support and now is moving back up towards it. Okay. You see, I want to see buyers reclaim that structure with a valid close. Okay. With a valid closing candle above that zone. That gives me the evidence that I need. Change of direction. Now, ladies and gentlemen, look at what we built here. Okay. I want you to understand what we built. After hitting the support area, if we look left, look at all the drama that we went through to get here. Why would the market stay here? Okay. That market drop down, pull back, drop down. That last drop creates your left shoulder. Before the market bounces off support, that last drop and pullback is going to be your left shoulder. Inside of the support area. Now here's a little tip for you. You may have a support area here. And that market might just drop down even below that support. But that's my zone. And I'm sticking to it. But imagine that market comes back up and closes above that support. That was a fake out. That was a false move. Do you know the head of the head and shoulder pattern is a fake out? Is a liquidity grab? That's right. That's right. We're almost done. Yeah, let me show it to you. Think about this. Market rise up. The market pulls back. The market rise up higher. What was this right here? Support, support, support. Resistance, resistance, resistance. All in this area. All of this was resistance. But if you showed up to our other lessons, what do you think is inside of this left shoulder on the lower time frame? On the lower time frame, inside of this left shoulder, it's a head and shoulder pattern. That's right. The market is just repeating itself over and over and over. Every pullback has a head and shoulder. Okay? Every resistance has a head and shoulder. Every support has a head and shoulder. This shows up over and over and over. So now, if we know that inside of this area is a head and shoulder and sellers are looking to sell here, guess what's going to happen? The market does what? Break through and then come back down inside the zone. Okay? So you got your breakout, then it comes back inside the zone. If we're truly going to reverse, because you may see this area as a breaker structure, retest, and possibly buy, right? But we also need confirmation here. Okay? We need confirmation here if we're going to buy. We need to, after they break out and pull back into the zone, what does this area become? Support. What shows up at support? Drop, pull back, drop lower, change of direction. This pattern needs to show up once we get the breaker structure. Okay? I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you may have to watch this over and over and over until you understand it. Okay? So now, what do I see? Left shoulder. The market drops into the zone. Boom. Stops again. Pulls back up. Creates my starting point. Drops lower. Change of direction. Buyers enter. Boom. Ride the wave. Ride the wave. Okay? Over and over and over. Oh, we're about to get to the good stuff. Now, let's add some advanced stuff in here. Okay? Let me disappear so you can see this. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we all have our own strategies. We all have our own strategies and our own ways to understand the market. Okay? Now, imagine if you see this area, we got the left shoulder here, the market pulls back. The market drops lower and then pulls back. Drops lower into the zone. I want to share something with you. Every time the market creates a massive drop or a break of structure, it moves so fast that it leaves a gap behind. It moves so fast that it leaves a gap behind. That's your break of structure. When that market creates the head, imagine it's coming all the way back up. The gap has been filled and it's my right shoulder. That's my confirmation. I'm taking that trade with confidence. Now we're going to go over to the live chart. I did have two more slides, but I'm not going to, like I said, you guys can get this. Okay, you can get these slides, but let me just go over to the live chart because I want you to see something. Okay, here we are. Welcome to the live chart now. Perfect. Boom. All right, so now I'll put this over here, put that over there. Boom. All right, so here we are on the live chart, ladies and gentlemen, and let's say, for example, I am looking for, oh man, GBP USD. If you guys took the GU trade the other day, I got an update the GU trade. This was a good trade, okay? This was a good trade on GBP USD. I hope you guys were able to catch that. Zero drawdown, okay? So you had your entry from here and it hit target 3 for 96 pips of pure pleasure, okay? GU, yes. Perfect. So we got to go ahead and get a screenshot. We're going to download that and upload it. I hope everyone had a chance to get that. Still waiting for NCAD to come back up, but let's go ahead and break this down real quick, ladies and gentlemen. I need anyone, the first person, to choose any chart, okay? And it can't be gold, all right? All right, UJ, right? Perfect. So we're going to take a look at UJ. USDJPY. And here's what I want to do first. I want to go up to my higher time frame. Let's say I'm on the monthly time frame. Okay? I'm on the monthly time frame. Now, remember what we spoke about finding support and resistance? Okay? Finding support and resistance. All we have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is basically find the drop, okay? The rejection, and see how it turned around. Drop, rejection, okay? Drop, rejection, rise, drop, rejection, rise. Would you say that this area here is support? Would you agree? How difficult was that? It wasn't that bad, right? So now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to type inside this box monthly support. I'm going to type in here monthly support. Perfect. Now, I'm going to show you something else that's pretty cool. And I'm just looking at the support for right now. What else we said shows up at support? What should the market do prior to coming to support? We want to see the inverted. Now, I want to give you another tip. If you decide you're the type of person who do not want to switch time frames, well, just remember the trade could take a lot longer. And if you are the person who decides you need to switch to a lower time frame to see the pattern, just remember move in steps. So watch this. We know that this is support area and the market rejected off of this support. We can see it. Okay. So now I'm on a monthly time frame. Looking at the current market, do I really need to drop to a lower time frame just to see this pattern? No. So we have a drop, pullback, drop lower. Okay, it is a break of structure. Did we change direction? We changed direction. Okay, and now we need a retest to give us the pattern. Yes or no? Does this model right here work the exact way that we taught just now? Left shoulder, this is the head right here. Okay, this is the head. Now, with that being the head, if I was to drop to a lower time frame, just by using this information, nothing over here. Let's go ahead and blank that out so you don't see it. Okay. Perfect. So if I'm just using this information right here, and I don't want to see this one either. Okay. I only want the information that's right in here. So all I see is a drop, pullback, drop lower. If I drop to the weekly time frame, I know that my rejection was right here. Okay. If I dropped one time frame lower on the weekly, here's what I'm going to see. Now, I'll start to notice I may have to adjust my zones a little bit. May have to adjust it over here because I'm on a smaller time frame. And then we drop here. Okay. Now, this market started to move up and up, 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 and away. Now, we see that they pull back in here somewhere, but we probably won't know why until we drop to a lower time frame. This area here is the starting point right here that pushed the market higher. Once we closed above, we got to retest here so we can continue taking that trade up. This is on USD JPY. I could have entered my trade here and took it up for over 971 pips. Okay, that's catching the entry over here. But what if I want to get a better entry, an entry closer to this area here? Well, I would have to drop to a lower time frame and find the same exact setup in here, not the starting point over here. Okay, this is going to be my weekly starting point. Okay, this is going to be my weekly starting point. Trust me when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you spend time identifying these zones, trading will become fun again, even during your losing moments. Okay, so now here we are on the weekly time frame. And do we have support at the bottom? Support is still support, yes? It's still support. It doesn't change. Okay, support is still support. Now, remember, we need to find the starting point that appeared before the market touched the box. So let's see if we can find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, looking at my screen, which combination of numbers is the starting point that appeared before the market touched this purple box? Which combination of numbers or which number showed up before the market touched the zone? That's going to be your starting point. Okay. All right, let's just go with one number. Which number appeared before the market touched the zone? Okay. And you're absolutely right. If you said number 4, you are correct. Notice 5 was touching the zone. 4 is the starting point that pushed it down. Do we have a break of structure? Yes, we do. A clean break of structure. Now, remember I was telling you about the advanced model? Okay, the advanced model. Notice also what I shared with you, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't pick this pair. Someone else chose this pair. But look at this. We got this massive breakdown. What did we leave behind? We left behind a gap in price. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and put a bandage on it. Okay. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you're anything like me and you're from the old school, we had this one tool that fixed everything. This one piece of tool that fixed everything in our house. Duct tape. Yep, there you go. So let's go ahead and put some duct tape on it to fill this zone right here and bring that duct tape all the way across just like that. Y'all with me? So while the market is down inside of the area, okay, while this market is inside the jail, down in this area at the police station, they just waiting for somebody to bail them out. They're at the police station. But then, guess what happens? I'm here to bail out my friend. You here to bail your friend out? Okay, okay. All right, all right. All right then. Bail your friend out then. All right, boom. Come on, let's get out of here. Let's go. Let's get out of here. And what do they do, ladies and gentlemen? Not only does the market closes above the starting point, okay? Not only do we close above the starting point, which is right here, this is going to be my daily starting point. Right here. We also close above the gap. I want you to see this. Where do you think I'm going to put my stop loss if I'm entering anywhere in this range? Where do you think I'm going to put my stop loss? You think I'm going to put my stop loss at the police station? No, I don't want nothing to do with them. Okay? I'm going to put my stop loss below the gap. Okay? Because if the market ever closes below this gap again, it's telling me that they are looking to reverse and continue to sell down. Okay? So below this low, the closest swing point, the closest low. That's right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, you enter the trade and the market starts to move. The market starts to move. Now, I want you to see how cool this is. You see this area right here? This was the gap that was filled, that imbalance that was filled. On one side, we created the imbalance, we created the gap. On the other side, we filled it, also creating the inverted head and shoulder after we bounce off of support. Do y'all understand? Do you see what's happening right now? That's right. Close above the gap, come back is right shoulder. That's right. Okay? Do you see what's happening right now? So now, what do you think this gap becomes? This becomes a zone of interest, a support, a key level, whatever you want to call it, a Scooby-Dooby-Doo pow-pow, whatever. So when the market comes to this zone, what are we looking for? When it comes to this zone, we're looking for the drop, rejection, rise. We also need to find what? The starting point. Boom. The starting point that pushed the market into this level. That's right. And check this out. I'm glad you saw that, Pavla. Because now when this market gave us that massive drop down, they started throwing gaps everywhere. Oh man, this market is moving so fast. It's moving so fast. Gaps in here. Gaps in here. Gaps over here. Now, this is what I see a lot of traders do, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I see a lot of traders, the moment that market bounce off this zone, who's telling you that you're wrong? Because even with this gap that we found right before the market rejected, look at this. Before the market hit the zone, here it comes. Don't blink. This is my rejection. This is my rejection. What if I drop to a lower time frame? What you think is going to show up? Just bring this over. If I drop to a lower time frame, what you think is going to show up in here? That's right. You can actually see it when I do this. But watch this. That's why I love these steps, because the steps help you see what you can't see. The steps is like dropping to a lower time frame without dropping to a lower time frame. But let's go ahead and drop one time frame lower to the 4-hour. I'm telling you, you didn't think you needed this call today. Hey, what are you doing there, sunshine? Get out of there. We don't need y'all anymore. Okay? Oops. And if you see these blue lines on my screen, it's because I'm blacking out the screen so you don't have to get distracted. Okay? It's just so you don't get distracted. Because we know people can easily get distracted. Okay? Let's move this out of the way. Perfect. I hope this is better. I hope this is better, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. So now, we knew there was a gap in this area on a higher time frame. So when they dropped and closed below, all of this is in the water. So when that market closed above that gap on a lower time frame, okay, when they came back, closed above the gap right there, okay, closed above the gap right there, they used this zone as an entry. This still don't look like a starting point yet, because the original starting point is up here, right? The original starting point is up here, but this is actually lower. So if I can get down to the 1 hour, I know they're going to show me something. If I can get down to the 1 hour, I know they're going to show me exactly what I'm looking for. This is multi-time frame searching, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? A lot of this stuff is done in the moment when it's happening. So you don't have to go back test and look at this. It's done in real time. Okay? We got a long ways to go. I know I should have used the thing on the bottom to get there, but I should have used this time price. But don't worry, we're going to get there. It's still loading. Okay. Let me see where I was at. Where was I? It came back to that level. Okay, here they go. Right over here. Price is at March 24th. No, March 10th, 2024. March 10th, 2024. All right. Come on. March. All right, no worries. Perfect. Good stuff. March 10th. There we go. And I'm going to take this one also to March. Come on. Really? You won't let me go back? All right, they won't let me go back. They don't let me go to 2026, but it's okay. It's okay. No distractions. No distractions. Okay. So we know if we were to drop to a lower time frame, we're going to see that pattern that we're looking for. Okay. That's going to show us right in this area that this is a starting point. Okay. So now let's go over to the live charts. Okay. Live markets. Here we are on the 4-hour time frame on gold. Okay. First thing I want to find is my drop and rejection. Look based off of what you just learned. Can you honestly see this zone right here? Can you see that? And can you see the inverted that shows up with it? Y'all see that already? You're looking at this and saying to yourself, whoa, whoa, I don't even need to see my lines. This is what happens when you train your eyes. Y'all see that? The moment I found the drop and the push away, the drop, rejection, and rise, what did I find right there? So now I'm looking at this on gold and I say to myself, okay, here's my starting point right here. And we got a massive push up, a massive push up with a gap. So I'll put this right here. All right. Oh, perfect. Let me see what you got, John. I put that up in that area. 4 hour. Nice rejection in this area. Nice. Perfect. I might get there, John. I might get there. Okay. So now I know that this is going to be my key level. This is going to be my key level. I'm going to be looking in this area, in this key level, this gap right here, but I don't want them to just come and I don't want to just buy this area blindly. Okay. I don't want to buy this level blindly. So what I want to do is wait for reaction. I want to see drop, pull back, rejection, change of direction, retest, and buy. Does that make sense? That makes sense? Perfect. Good stuff. All right, now this is my 4 hour play. Okay. Also, do I have a resistance? Do I have a resistance? Do I have a rise, rejection, and drop? Yes, I do. So I'll grab my resistance. Okay. Boom. Watch this now. We're almost there. Resistance line. I'm going to put it here. Okay. Put that in the back. Perfect. So I got my resistance area. I got my support area. I'm on a higher time frame. Got my support. Yes. I'm doing the top of the wick. All right, because remember, we're not just doing a line in the sand. We're not just putting a line here and saying this is resistance. What about these areas? What about this area? So what I did was I drew a zone from the highest wick and brought it down to the first body that I touched. Remember that training that I did about a year ago? From the wick to the body. This is identifying support and resistance. Okay, so now we got our resistance. What shows up at resistance? Ask yourself that question. Rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. And we got rejection that came in here. So looking at this zone here, let's look at this one here real quick. Okay, let's look at the first one because we want to see that they gave us a play. So I've dropped from the 4 hour. Actually, I can see it right here. Boom. That was a sell opportunity in here. Okay. But I'll drop down to a lower time frame because after you find your rejection, you want to find the change of direction. This is the 1 hour starting point right here on gold. 1 hour starting point that pushed the market higher. But remember, we never closed below the starting point, so they still didn't give us that pattern that we're looking for. But what I can look for, no change of direction. That's right. We have a gap here. Okay. Another gap here as that market is moving. Okay. And you can see some gaps in here. Okay. Perfect. Now, as this market drops down, we got a gap here. The gaps that I like to focus on are the ones that reacted like support and resistance. So when this market dropped here, remember I showed you, I said, before I even switched, I said, hold up, that was a sell opportunity there. So imagine you got the rejection here. Okay. Yep. After the rejection, after you find a rejection, find a change of direction. Ooh, that is so clean. Okay. After rejection, find the change of direction. Okay. Wow. For the inverted, should we use sell gaps? Okay. So rejection, and then change of direction, especially when you had a gap down and we filled it on this side. Now, I want to show you, this could have been my test trade. This could have been my best trade. And I still got enough space in this range to possibly enter another one. So now I got a gap here, and I believe I could see another one right in here that would have gave me a possible another opportunity. Let's find out. So if I decided to drop lower, okay, I got rejection, change of direction. Whoa, look at this beauty. Look at this beauty, ladies and gentlemen. What did we find? Okay, inside of the range. All right, this was a sell opportunity, right? Change of direction. Now this becomes a rejection. That becomes a rejection. And then do we have inside a break of structure? Do we have a clean break of structure inside? The answer is yes, we do. Okay, a clean break of structure. Do we have a clean change of direction below? Yes, we do. Can we enter our trade in this area for trade number 3? Boom, just like that. If you wanted to keep playing it, you still got on your 15-minute time frame. So what does this zone becomes? Rejection. Okay? Rejection. Resistance. An area of interest. So if I want to drop down to my 5-minute time frame, see how we plan this? Okay? Now this becomes the rejection. Now I need to find a clean break of structure right in the level right there. Clean break of structure up. Now we need a clean break of the starting point. You see the starting point has this large wick. So bring it down, bring it down. Oh, we got a wick right there. So we close below. Bam. All right. So now we got a rejection, change of direction. And let's see if we get some sellers that want to show up at this level. My last trade. Oh, 5-minute, they gave me my last trade. But what does this tell us, ladies and gentlemen? What does this tell us? What pattern did they create? You can see how beautiful this pattern is on the bottom. How do I know when it's over? Large, this must be a massive support at the other, on a higher time frame. Because when they came back across, retest and bought up, they're telling me this is a huge zone. And the market never created a lower low. You see that? So what were we doing? We were trading this all the way down from the rejection, change of direction, rejection, change. Look, they say the trend is your friend until it ends. Somebody got to take the loss. Okay? Somebody got to take the loss. So if I was to go back up to a higher time frame, and remember this area right here, that market stopped right in this area. Why? Why did it stop here? Because in this zone right here was a support area. Watch this now. This zone is a support. This market stopped here. On the left side of the support, we need to find, oh my goodness. Let's go lower. And watch, it's going to turn into the inverted. Okay. Wow. Wow. Beautiful. Drop, pull back, drop lower, change of direction, but I would love to see these wicks close below. It must be one time frame lower. Wow. It's right there in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is, right here. That's it. Support, okay? Support is at the bottom, right? Did we get a clean break of structure? Yes. Okay? A nice clean break of structure. And we got a starting point right in this area. Starting point right there. Push up. Once we closed above this area right here. Ooh, we didn't get that clean close until over here. Yep. They came back to the zone, retest, and now look at that buy. Beautiful. All right, what is the current market saying? Current market is saying, hey, we got a rejection at this level. We got a zone here. Okay. If they go below this zone, I'm looking for sales. We know that they want to be bouncing off of this starting point right in here. Okay. So this is support. They shift up. I can see that with this support here on this 5-minute change of direction. Let's see if they turn this into a violation. Yep, right there. Inverted. Let's see if they turn this into a violation. Okay, because this area gave us a nice reversal right in here. So this would have been my 5-minute rejection. 5-minute rejection off of this level. And now we need a change of direction. That's right. That's right. All right, looks like we're getting that push. Looks like we're getting that push. All right, so a change of direction need to close below here. So this is a rejection from the 5-minute, and now we need that change of direction to close below that. We already know we need them to close below this already because that's a higher time frame zone. I didn't. Hey. You gonna make me do it? Don't make me do it. All right. I want to see if they can pull back into this range. Okay. They can pull back into this range. Maybe we can catch them early to ride them below here. Okay. I had a nice play on GJ. All right, let's get that pull back. Yep, surgery. Come on, just give me that pull back up to that level. I want that zone. Okay. That range is sitting around the 44.13. We got a zone between where sellers are sitting between 44.14 and 44.12. Anywhere in this range. This is where my sellers are sitting. Okay. Just give me one push up. Okay. You're moving too fast, man. Yes, I'm gonna go. Oh, whoa, oh, snap, gap. They just gapped up into the zone. They just gapped up into the zone. I didn't even see that. I blinked for a second. Okay, they just gapped up into the zone. I blinked for a second. Oh man. Okay, all of these are targets. All of these are targets. All of those are targets. Okay, man, I just blinked for a second. I'm like, whoa. Just need them to honor their word. Yeah, I did say don't blink, right? Let's go. Let's go. Big moves, big moves, big moves, big moves, big moves. All right, these are targets, these are targets, these are targets. All of those are targets. When it's blue, it's on you. Something is happening. Let's see what's going on. The market is jumping. Come on. Give me that push. Give me that push. Give me that push. Give me that push. If they take out this wick, it's over. Let's go. Give me that push. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. There you go. When it's blue, it's on you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I can't tell you when to exit. Nice push. Nice freaking push. Why my chart didn't update? Let's go. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. There we go. Nice freaking push. Let's go. Let's go. You said stop loss? Put your profits and targets in profit. Let's go. Target 1, target 2, target 3. Put your stop loss in profit or take profit. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Who's in this trade? Let's go. For entry. Beautiful entry, baby. Let's go. Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I want you guys to make sure that you are protecting yourself. Okay? Protect yourself. Don't give anything back. I don't care how far it dropped, how far it didn't drop. Protect yourself. Yeah, the hype breaking up the computer, man. I know. Messed up my yeah, protect yourself. But what you saw today, okay? What you saw today, you had a chance to witness the teaching in action. Okay? You had a chance to witness the teaching in action. Okay? That's the nicest part about this. It isn't, oh man, I get in, I'm learning, but it's not working. I marked this up a whole day ago. 15-minute time resistance. Got rejected. Now it turned into support. Look at this. This was a 4-hour resistance. Got broken through, and now it turns into support. What happens over here? Starting point, close up, boom, rejection, buy it up, inverted. That's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we're going to start the week. This is how we start the week. Okay? I want you to start the week off as a winner. Okay? Start the week off as a winner. Let's go. That's right. I'm so happy and grateful for all of you. Okay? So happy and grateful for all of you. I want to thank you all for your time, your patience, okay? Your dedication. I want you to master what I've just shared with you. 21 days. 21 days. It takes 21 days to build a habit. It takes a Corona and a chicken nugget and a super power pack from McDonald's to ruin that habit. Okay? What is your Corona? What is your chicken nugget that's ruining your habits, your good habits? So thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, all right. Before you go, um, All right, we're doing the one-on-ones tonight. All right, I hope y'all ready. All right, we're doing the one-on-ones tonight, starting at 5 p.m. Okay, starting at 5 p.m. Now, also want to let you know, it's not going to be on Zoom. It's going to send you a Google Meet link. Okay. All right. If you've registered for your one-on-one, it's all you have to do is click on that Google link, Meet link, and it's going to put you into the call, the one-on-one call. Please be on time for your meeting. We got it scheduled for 30 minutes, but if we need additional time, we have that buffer in between. Stick to the script, your concerns, your questions, your issues, the reason why you feel that you may have been losing your trades. Okay. But all we're going to cover is what I shared today. That's all we're going to cover. Because trust when I tell you, seeing how we were able to get into that trade just like that with confidence. Let's go. So I see you starting at 5 p.m. If you want to bring a guest, you can bring a guest. Okay. But everyone has the ability to create their own. So, yeah, see you tonight.